The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Why are we doing an episode on Thanksgiving? Canadian Thanksgiving, okay? Trevor's got a family, and we got this Dylan Guenther trade to examine. Yo, we need a life, okay? For real.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That's right. On Canadian Thanksgiving, we'll tell you why we're thankful for the Dylan Guenther trade. What? Before we get to that, we got to say welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also a Canucks writer and part-time credentialed media member with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks, because it is your Canucks every damn day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. They're doing the most for sports fans across the world. And for our show, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe and like this on YouTube. And on the podcast side, go follow us and leave a 5-star review, because we're not here without you. And we're thankful for you. And we're also thankful for the sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by none other than FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Some might consider it not one of the worst trades in Canucks history, but one of the worst trades in recent NHL history. The Canucks trading away the 9th overall pick for Uhhhh and, of course, Conor Garland. But on today's episode, let's throw some respect, maybe not so much on the trade, but on Conor Garland himself, and talk about how the Canucks can eventually win the Dylan Guenther Conor Garland trade. All that and more coming up. We'll also talk a bit about Daniel Sprong. The Daniel Sprong experience is alive and well in Vancouver. We'll also get into some lineup notes as well, down from Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. Oh my God, it's all coming up. But before we do that, let me introduce my co-host, Kyle Bowen, rocking the shades, even though it's pissing rain out. What's going on, brother?
It's pissing rain, but it's always 420 over here, man. West Coast, best coast, you know the deal. West Coast bias, you also know that deal as well. Welcome to Locked On Canucks. One love to the Dodo's Art Lab again for giving us a space to, give you this every day. And Bagsy, man, Thanksgiving. Some call it the Canadian Thanksgiving, okay? And Vancouver is my life saying, stop calling it a Canadian Thanksgiving, you son of a gun, okay? You damn American, okay? You guys, come on. We went through this, man. We got ties to Alaska. Bindus came from Alaska. I think I read some fiction early on. Anyways, where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. Fiction. The Dylan Guenther trade. The Uhhhh trade. And now the Conor Garland trade. This is something else. Putting a lot of pressure on him, okay? Because, again, this was a Jim Benning masterclass at the time. And now Guenther's panning out and the conversation is still lingering. And the Uhhhh cap hit is around the corner, right? $4.5 million or $4 million, whatever the number is, it's close to there, of dead cap on a team that's, just learned how to win and, could use all the resources possible. It's going to hurt again. This all being said, what if? Yes, what if the Canucks win a Stanley Cup with Conor Garland? That's the only way we win this trade, right?
Yeah, pretty much, right? And,
yeah,
it's only fairness, right? We got to put a little respect on Conor Garland's name here, because through 2 games, I think, Kyle, it's the reason why we wanted to bring him up. I'd say he's probably been the best Canuck through 2 games. And you look at the game on Friday night against the Philadelphia Flyers, and, the best 2 players in that game for the Canucks were Conor Garland and Nils Höglander. And Conor Garland in particular led the team in even strength ice time on a night where the Patterson, DeBrus, Daniel Sprong line all received the lowest minutes sprong Canucks forwards in terms of even strength ice time. So more on that later, again, with the Daniel.
Come on, Trevor's always bringing up Elias Patterson, man. It's Thanksgiving, bro. It's a holiday, man. It's a holiday. Well, Patterson just got thrown into the mix, man. Thrown into the blender, okay? The blender from hell. Holy, 86.
I mean, Conor Garland did get placed on the Elias Patterson line to finish off that Philly game, which was maybe not so much about Petey, but more so about giving Conor Garland the reward and the task with getting that line going, because there was next to no chemistry with the Patterson, DeBrus, Sprong line. But yeah, with the Dylan Guenther, Conor Garland trade, it's something I've wanted to bring up for a while. Dylan Guenther signs that extension. We ignored it, didn't talk about it. The season starts, Dylan Guenther starts tearing it up. We haven't talked about it, but now's the time, right? with Conor Garland, again, I would say he's probably been the most consistent Canuck through 2 games to start the season. But man, oh man, you look at Dylan Guenther and what he's doing for the Utah Hockey Club. And for those who haven't paid attention, Dylan Guenther leads the NHL with 5 goals in 3 games. The dude has 2 power play goals. He has an overtime game winning goal. Man, oh man, Dylan Guenther absolutely tearing it up for the Utah Hockey Club. But Kyle, like you said, the one way where the Vancouver Canucks can win this trade is if Conor Garland helps his team win a Stanley Cup. And if last postseason was any indication, he's got the ability to do so.
Yeah, man. And again, it sounds like such a crazy statement. It sounds as if Trevor and Kyle are just being so damn evil right now on this holiday Monday, right? But you have to realize how bad that trade was for the OEL reason. You know what I'm saying? And the you get off the books of all these big contracts in 12 months. Like, what's going on here? Where's the math? It was a trade that just smelt like desperation. And he's bearing.
Didn't just smell like desperation. It was oozing out of every pore in Jim Benning's body at the time we made that deal.
Okay. So you know what, Trevor? Can we just actually go back there and instead of like talking about like the biggest parts, like the first round picks and the Beagles and the Ericssons and the money and the OEL, can we just go back to the whole Conor Garland part of that trade? When it happened, and you saw the names that were coming to Vancouver, and you just read over the OEL part, what did your mind tell you about Conor Garland? Like, what did you see from him, and what was your level of excitement? Because we could break it down from here, okay?
Yeah, I was definitely excited about the Conor Garland aspect of the trade. So I believe at the time he had finished his second full NHL season. I think it was his third NHL season, but second full one. And I want to say he had like 38 points in 48 games. I think he had 20 goals or pretty close to 20 goals. And you're thinking like, man, oh man, this is a guy without a lot of NHL experience who's on the upswing. Who's a tenacious little bugger, man. Like, I remember watching that guy with the
little
Canucks. I'm like, who the hell is this Conor Garland guy? And he was always noticeable in every game with the Arizona Coyotes there. And so, yeah, there was genuine excitement about the player. And, you kind of had broke down the trade in 2 silos. If you want to look at it this way, I mean, it's, not reality, but you could look at it as Conor Garland for the 9th overall pick or Conor Garland for Dylan Guenther, and then OE Hell for, the 2nd, the 7th, Beagle, Eriksson, and Roussel. It's still a loss on both fronts because I think Dylan Guenther's going to be a star in this league. And with Conor Garland, I don't want to say there's disappointment there, but you definitely acquired him thinking he was going to be a top 6 piece. And again, that's just the interesting thing about his Canucks tenure is he's a third line player, but he deserves to be higher up in the lineup. Like, he's on the third line just because Rick Taco wants to spread out the wealth and it's worked. But he deserves to be higher up the lineup. Again, through the first 2 games of the season, he's been the Canucks' best forward.
Yeah, but what does higher up the lineup mean on a good team? I feel like in the playoffs, he was playing with Lindholm and Joshua. He was like getting minutes too. I think that like the coach and Tocchet, they've been with him for a long time. Well, I guess Tocchet and Garland have been together for a long time. It seems like that. And I think they got an understanding. And I think that Conor Garland, in the eyes of Rick Tocchet, at times is right behind Miller as the engine on this team. Straight up. We've seen it for a long period of time now. I feel like it's been like 50, 60 games. And before that, he was just like super, super consistent, right? But now, like, the team's, I don't want to say winning, but, for 22 seconds, we did win last year, and he was so important to, again, establishing the work ethic, the work rate, and just overall having fun out there, man. Having some of that swagger, having some of that confidence. And early on the season, we're already seeing that. And it's quite apparent that he's going to have a career year this year. I see it. I feel it. Straight up. Real talk. When Joshua comes back and Begsy, now I'm getting ahead of myself. But I think you're right. I think there's a chance that those two, they're the winger set for one of Miller or Patterson this year. Straight up. Maybe that's the way you get Garland up the lineup. You know what I'm saying? But even if that happens, I'm telling you, the only way we win this trade based on how bad it is, and it sounds so crazy, is if Conor Garland is a big part of a Stanley Cup winning team here in Vancouver. And, at the end of the day, man, I feel like he can be, because I think this guy's hella talented, extremely tenacious, a bit of an outlier. And more notably for this team specifically, again, what's that saying? A straw that stirs the drink. Who the hell stirs a drink with a straw? Okay, he's the spoon, the little spoon who stirs the drink.
I don't know if Conor Garland would be like being called a little spoon, but I digress. But
Hey,
Kyle,
I like being a little spoon. Okay, I like it. Feels nice.
I like being the big spoon, man. Look at that. Anyways, that's
Whoa.
another story there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Conor Garland again in last year's playoffs, so he did finish fifth among Canucks forwards in even strength ice time. And again, at even strength, when it's a close game, he tends to be one of the highest played Canucks out there. I mean, the reason why I think Elias Patterson has elevated even strength minutes is because when the Canucks are trailing, they're throwing him on the ice a ton. But overall, when the game is tied, Conor Garland actually has more even strength ice time than Elias Patterson, which is saying something for your Vancouver Canucks.
It's Thanksgiving, Trevor. It's Thanksgiving, dude. Elias Patterson, man, just being brought up, dude. Trevor,
But
man.
here's the thing, man. Like again, we
what's
see through the first two games. Like I don't want to say Pedersen's been bad, but Pedersen, Miller, Besser, they've all kind of looked a bit off, right? Conor Garland does not take a shift off ever. Like going back to last season, like what was the narrative in October and November of last year is that Conor Garland I think he had 2 goals and 3 points for the first 15 games. Again, no points at all. But we saw it. The guy was creating. The guy was generating. The puck was often in the offensive zone. And we're saying, man, oh man, like this guy is underrated. He's not getting the love right now because the points aren't there. But again, the guy just doesn't take a shift off. And I want to say he motivates the rest of the Canucks to elevate the game a bit too. And that's some of that intangible stuff. I know people don't like that word, but the guy just absolutely brings it all the time. And right now with Garland and Höglander, it doesn't really matter, but their size doesn't matter in this situation because they are, again, 2 games early on, but they have been the most consistent Canucks so far, and Conor Garland's at the top of that list.
Yeah, and if he does become a big part of, again, winning the Cup for the Vancouver Canucks, we win this trade, and I can just be less insecure with my life, how many times do I bring it up with Garland and Höglander? Like, it's cool to see that size doesn't matter, and for 31 and a half years old, 31 and a half years, I feel as if it has mattered to me in some way, shape, or form. So, go Canucks go, man.
Go Canucks go. That's why Kyle is the little spoon. So Conor Garland, again, been tearing it up through 2 games, at least with the eye test, okay? And Rick Tocchet, again, rewarding this guy with some ice time. The rest of the team, not so much. And there's one guy in particular who the Canucks acquired this offseason who was giving us the full experience, okay? Some might call it the Daniel Sprong experience. So let's get into Daniel Sprong and some more lineup notes on the other side after we shout out a new sponsor, Kyle. It's finally here, okay? Because this ad break, again, Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day, brought to you by Hims.
Whoa.
All right, what is Hims, okay? Hims, they're here to help you with your sexual health.
Thank you. Oh, you're lagging a bit, Trevor.
Healing. It starts with Hims. Sexual.
Okay. You're lagging a lot there, buddy. You're lagging a lot. It's a new sponsor, Hims. What is this? Like erectile dysfunction? Is this a cure?
Kyle, I just got to say, you always talk about how, size
Oh. Trevor's lagging out. We gotta run this ad break after, man. Hey, shout out to Hims, okay? Okay, we back sort of on Locked On Canucks. There it is, man. That was our shining moment. That was our Stanley Cup Game 7, okay? The moment that we were about to, I don't know, that was a sign that we were about to make it in the sports broadcasting career, okay? Erectile dysfunction commercial, and I think so. I didn't even read the ad script, and we failed, man. We failed because of the internet. Some would take that as a sign, but bro, on today's episode, we're talking about Conor Garland, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up. We do what it takes. The Conor Garland story, just in general, from where he got drafted, how he was put on the scene, all the doubt, the journey in Arizona and whatnot. Now with the Canucks and being part of that trade, and now with talking and excelling in his chemistry with Joshua and him being the small spoon, the little spoon. Trevor, next time you're in a media scrum with Garland, like just even though it's not a nickname yet, just bring it up. Like how do you like being called the little spoon of this organization by the Canucks fans? Just say that, okay? Just say that. Anyways, he's all that and more. And Trevor, I asked you, What was your thoughts on Conor Garland the moment he got traded here? Okay, what did your heart tell you about this guy? Were you excited? Blah blah blah. And you didn't ask me that question, and I'm going to answer that question. Okay, I was excited because Begsy, I know you're the Google guy here, but I'm pretty sure Conor Garland scored a hat trick against the Oilers on Hockey Night in Canada uh, sometime during that year where he got traded to the Canucks, or maybe the year before, and it was either against Calgary or Edmonton, but I remember watching that game and I saw a player that didn't give a you know what? Straight up. He was gonna do whatever it takes to get the job done. I'm pretty sure he scored a goal off his face too. I might be wrong. I gotta Google it. Maybe I was dreaming about Conor Garland before he became one of us. All in all, though, there was still some excitement from that. And Begsy, I did the same thing to you. I took that Garland trade and I said, "Yo, it's the 9th overall pick for Conor Garland." That's kind of how I saw it as well.
Yeah, and again, honestly, that trade is still a loss. But when Conor Garland helps the Canucks win a Stanley Cup, it won't matter anymore. But I think Canuck fans, do yourself a favor, and if the Utah Hockey Club is playing a hockey game, just don't go watch the highlights because Dylan Guenther's a sick player.
Yeah. But Garland's a sick player too. Come on, Trevor, man. It's Thanksgiving, man. Can you just like spread that holiday cheer? You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. We're good. Don't worry.
No,
Conor Garland is winning the Conn
Conor
Smythe.
Garland, man. I'm thankful for Conor Garland. You know, it does
Yeah.
like the trade is in the past now. It's been 3 years, which is crazy to think about.
Wow.
Over 3 years, right?
Yeah.
But again, the trade is what it is. OEL is costing us money. He's already a cup champ in another city, man. Like time has gone by, but Conor Garland, despite the trade request, despite some bad years in Vancouver, he's still here. He's still tearing it up for your Vancouver Canucks.
He's still your little
Again,
spoon. He's still your little spoon.
one of
Okay?
the most valuable guys on the team, man. Now, a guy who we thought might have some value when he got signed by the Canucks in the offseason was Daniel Sprong. And man, oh man, this guy added to his hype with a pretty unreal training camp, according to all the reports out there. You know, they had that dazzling goal in the preseason going end to end. He scores the first goal of the Canucks season with the ripping shot on the power play. But for the most part, Kyle, the Daniel Sprong experience has been in full effect. And that means he's been kind of disappointing for large stretches despite showing some flashes.
Yeah, just like the Canucks. You could just use that exact same description for the Canucks. Everyone's looking good in the first period. All in all, man, I know they're regular season games, but it was interesting to see Tocchet use his bench like it was a big game down the stretch. You know, by making it shorter. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think there was such importance in the offseason to get Patterson some help as far as wingers who could do something offensively and whatnot, and more time on attack against teams like the Calgary Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers. Like, you know, not shortening up the bench and putting your lines in a blender going into the third period would have been, in my opinion, something wise to do, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Just give them more time. How many periods have did those three play together in the preseason? I genuinely feel like they played none. Did they play the last game and the Oilers? Like I can't even remember.
The last game they did,
Just the last game they played a bit.
Yeah.
He just got thrown there. You know what I'm saying? All of them. And bro, it's a Jake DeBrusk thing too. Has he looked excellent 5-on-5? No way. No way. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't seen consistent offensive flash from that dude. The dude who was supposed to be another top 6 win. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I know he's going to be that guy, but I'm just saying in general, I look at the Daniel Sprong experience and I'm literally saying, yeah, he's got to be better. And that whole defensive BS that he's pulling is one thing, but at the other end of the spectrum, he's Daniel Sprong. He's a player getting paid less than $1 million. He needs some help going to feel himself. You know what I'm saying? Like more offense generated around him would be nice. Looking at him to be the driving force is another. And yeah, again, Begsy, take it away when it comes to his defensive game and talk its patience with it, but it just seems Kuzmenko-ish, like real talk.
Yeah, we dropped that episode, Kyle. Maybe this is our fault, right? And you know, the Canucks have the next Kuzmenko. DeAndre Sprongmenko is now with your Vancouver Canucks. And you know, you mentioned he can't drive the line. You know, Petey's the guy who's supposed to drive that line, and there's a lot of responsibility with Petey right now. And again, I'm not going to sit here and rip the guy and say he's been bad. I know a lot of people are saying that. You know, GL's in the comments, Petey's playing like a $3 million player so far. He's got Petey with 22 goals and 65 assists. No, that's still not a bad season. You're talking 87 points. This was pretty much the season he had last year, except a little less in the goal scoring department. But that line just has next to no chemistry right now. Like they just can't get each other the puck. And yeah, I know part of it's on PD, but you also have to have some familiarity with your line mates. And Sprong seems to be floating around like Daniel Sprong right now when he's on the ice. The Canucks are creating nothing. And I know very early, small sample size, but the Canucks have created nothing with Daniel Sprong on the ice at even strength. Jake DeBrusk, you can see the speed. He's skating north-south. He can't seem to get the puck right now. It just hasn't worked so far. And that's why you saw Conor Garland get elevated there to end off the Flyers game. So in terms of Daniel Sprong, I mean, talked to Rick Tocchet after the game on Friday, and he was basically telling reporters in the scrum there, Daniel Sprong got caught on the 2-2 tying goal. Cam York sniped it, but Daniel Sprong, that was his man to cover. He got caught cheating. He ended up towards the net as the Flyers had the puck down low when he should have stayed up high with Cam York. Cam York gets the puck, he has time and space to just rip it by Kevin Lankin in there, who, by the way, was really solid in his first game for your Vancouver Canucks. And I know Tocchet mentioned something with the first game as well. I didn't really see what Daniel Sprong did in the game against Calgary, but he caught some bench time for whatever reason there. Look, again, the Daniel Sprong experience is in Vancouver. The guy has great puck skills. He's got a great shot, but he does a lot of things that frustrate you, and especially things that frustrate coaches. And we've seen the long talks after practice of Tocchet and Sprong. And he's probably going, "Dude, we've talked about this. What are you doing here?" And I think it's a big reason why I would not be shocked in the slightest. In fact, I expect Daniel Sprong to be a healthy scratch in the Canucks opening road game against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Whoa!
Okay, so here's there's not many reporters down there right now, so I was trying to get some updates on practice. And the only
holiday, Trevor. It's a damn holiday, man. It's a damn holiday.
No, but yeah, guys still at the rink. Dan Murphy was at the rink down there. All he mentioned was that Tyler Myers, an update there. Tyler Myers is skating, which is pretty good news considering how bad that injury looked. Tyler Myers again skating with the team down in Tampa.
Beautiful.
Apparently the lines and defensive pairs were all over the place, but Dan Murphy was saying his best guess for lines tomorrow night was going to be Besser, Miller, and Archdeep Baines.
Who was right? Who was right?
Baines. Kyle, that was your prediction, right? And then he was saying,
"You're listening to Locked On Canucks."
Let me finish Dan Murphy's prediction and do a little dance. So he's saying that Besser, Miller, and Baines, Heinen, Patterson, and DeBrusk, and then you would stick with Höglander, Ratu, and Garland, and then your fourth line of Sherwood, Suter, and Bluger with Daniel Sprong as the 13th forward. And then he didn't even have any predictions on the defensive pairs because Tyler Myers is not going to play, and the pairs were all over the place at practice. So he said he just has no indication. So, Kyle, pat yourself on the back, man. We could see Archie Baines making his season debut on Tuesday night in Tampa.
Trevor, come on, man. I'm not going to pat myself on the back for that. I didn't do anything, and you didn't do anything too. Archie Baines, man, that's on him. That's on him, and that's also on Rick Tocchet just being a hockey nerd. Again, when Archdeep wasn't going last year, he still got looks with Besser and Miller. And maybe he just sees something, and that's exciting, man. Again, Begsy, Bowen from Surrey, that's a beautiful thing, Let's hope that works out. That could change the city forever, man. For real. Straight up, I want to see Surrey Central Mall in 50 years after Archie Baines helps the Canucks win a Stanley Cup. Dude, what's going on here? So again, so you went down the lines. Can you just refresh me on who's playing with Patterson? Because I kind of want to bring up the whole Conor Garland thing again. So who might be playing with Patterson tomorrow?
It was Heinen, and the prediction according to Dan Murphy was Heinen and DeBrusk, who actually are good friends that played together in Boston for a chunk of time. So
great,
be interested to see that line together. Although Heinen's been. Again, he's lacked chemistry with Miller and Bescher so far. I mean, again, very early days, but those guys just haven't clicked at even strength either.
Yeah, so I wonder how long the leash is for either Garland or DeBrusk. I mean, maybe DeBrusk or Heinen on that line. Because you know how Tocchet loves his sets or his duos, his pairs? I actually feel as if there is some chemistry between Niels Höglander and Conor Garland. Like, they're looking for each other. They're doing their thing. So I wonder if, Patterson, DeBrusk, and Heinen aren't going. I wonder after one period, we kind of see things switch over because DeBrusk, Heinen, and who would it be? Like a Suter, Bluger, Ratu, like whoever's down the middle. Like that could That could work in your bottom six. You know what I'm saying? For the time being, and why the time being is so important is because, again, maybe we could talk about this in the third segment. I think some people are saying that we're not reading the Patterson comments enough, but just get going. You know what I'm saying? Get going. You get going somehow, some way, and he has to be the play driver. But sometimes we need help to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like to get back there, to get the feeling like yourself again. And something tells me he needs a little bit of help, and maybe Garland and Höglander can do that if they get the chance sometime on this road trip.
Yeah, you asked the question about how long the leash is for Heinen and DeBrusk, and I don't think it's it's an easy answer, right? The leash is short, and we've seen it through 2 games. Like Talkins put the lines in the blender in both games so far when he doesn't like what he sees. So I honestly believe that what he wants is the offense spread out. He wants 3 lines that he can trust to score, and the fourth lines look great so far. The fourth line has not been a problem in the slightest. In fact, they've been one of the best lines. One of Talkins' comments after the game against Philly, in terms of why Pettersson's line had the lowest amount of even strength ice time among the 4 lines, is that Blueger's line deserved it more. And again, that's good for Teddy Blueger, not so good for your Vancouver Canucks. But the leash is short. I think they want Höglander and Garland on that third line. If the top 6 is going, that third line's going, you have a very dangerous team. But I think he's pretty he will switch it up pretty quick and put Höglander and Garland in the top 6 if he doesn't like what he's seeing. Speaking of things that we don't like, slow internet, man. But let's try it one more time. Let's try to get through these ad reads, and we'll wrap up on the other side with some of your comments. And Kyle, let me tell you and the listeners about the biggest scoop of my part-time credential media career. That's coming up next on Locked On Canucks after we shout out our friends over at Hims and FanDuel. All right, Kyle, cut me off if the internet doesn't work. Speaking of things not working, your little man down there or your big man down there, you want to make sure he's working, okay? Because sometimes you need a little boost in the bedroom, baby. And it's time to stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. Hims, they're changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch, okay? You can be stroking on the couch and thinking that this half chub ain't good enough, man. I need me some Hims, okay? The process of Hims is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. This product mentions are chewable compound products which are not approved by or verified for safety effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Damn. You're talented, man.
All right. And then back to our old friends over at FanDuel, okay? NFL season, NHL season is all here, and you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bet. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Kyle, I know you're not a betting man, but if you bet on your Green Bay Packers, you would have made some money yesterday, man. God damn. I missed the first half of all football yesterday. Come home and it's like 24-0 Packers. And I was jealous, man. I broke my TV. I was pissed off because I know you're cheering for a winner and I'm cheering for a loser. Unbelievable, man. And if you're betting on the NHL, hey, Vancouver Canucks, slight underdogs against the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night, plus 114. If you're believing in the Canucks, got a bit of value there. Whatever you're betting on, make sure you go place those bets at FanDuel.com.
One love to FanDuel. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks on a day off. But we don't take day offs here, okay? At the Don't Doze Our Lap or on Locked On, because we're addicted to the Vancouver Canucks. Can't have enough. You try getting to this stage and not have a cup yet. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're desperate. And Begsy. I'm a little desperate for some vintage Elias Patterson, man. I really am, man. That's just the truth. And I'm going to continue to be nice and patient because it's not that deep. And I know he's going to get himself out of this. He's a damn good player. But it feels like enough is enough, like just do something. Like put on a show, for lack of a better word.
Hey, Elias Patterson, maybe like GLS is saying in the comments, here's a free plug. Got to go check out Hims, man. Got to check out Hims. Maybe that'll help.
Take Hims to be him. Take
There we
Hims
go.
to be him. And bro, Trevor, what's up with this discreet packaging? If I want Hims, bring it to my door, and I'm gonna let the people know. I'm just trying to be him, and I love my girl. What's wrong with that? You can't live in shame. And Elias Patterson, like don't feel bad for yourself. Just don't feel the pressure. Don't feel the shame. Just be you once again. Be you ASAP. And Begsy, I wonder if you think it's gonna happen on this road trip because it's raining outside. Okay.
Sometimes on the road is where you can get with some better bonding with your teammates, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if this road trip is an opportunity for Patterson to finally get it going. But it just feels like we're talking about Patterson every episode here. And look, as Mike Laval and a lot of our other commentators are saying, at least we're on 0-3-0 like the Oilers so far this season. Look, I think McDavid has like 1 or 2 assists.
Okay.
They only have 3 goals.
Let's not talk any shit right now. Okay, we haven't won a game too. We lost to Calgary and Philadelphia.
New stories can be written here in the 2024-25 campaign. And, I know everyone's thinking about Patterson and last season and all that stuff, but I am not going to start freaking out about Elias Patterson until, like you said, Kyle, maybe the 10-ish game mark.
Wow. What are the chances that you went on that spiel and one of your children was crying in the back? That is poetic, man. Somehow, some way. And again, I think people want this dude to be a play driver ASAP, and I get it. I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. But I think when you're down bad, you need people to drag you up. And it always ties back to Conor Garland because he's the little spoon that stirs the drink. And this guy needs a bit of a lightning rod right now. And somebody who can make plays. Make plays. I think we're going to see Garland with Patterson sometime on this road trip.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I would not be shocked in the slice if Garland gets elevated there. I honestly thought, Dan Murphy's saying different, but I wouldn't be surprised if Garland started the game alongside Patterson and DeBrusque, because that's how they ended the last game. You're looking for a boost there. Garland's the guy, man. Come on, he's the reason we're gonna win the Dylan Guenther trade, right? When that big silver 35-pound beautiful trophy comes to Vancouver. Because of Conor Garland, and maybe that starts tomorrow night when he plays with Elias Patterson.
There you go, man. One love, man. Just enjoy yourself. It's only been 2 games, and it's happening. And yeah, I think Patterson, he's eventually gonna get it going. Yeah. Okay, look at this comment from Aaron Phillip, though. Okay, you can't take on or you can't make $11.6 million and not expect to be criticized when you don't perform. Just ask Marner. Dude, I think the criticism that he's getting, in my opinion, based on his play, is well-deserved. Mm-hmm. Now, if the criticism is looking big picture and just like, okay, this guy's the next Huberdeau, okay, we shouldn't have signed this guy. I think that's like, chill out, relax. You want to hope for the best right now. The Canucks want to take it to the top. It's not by trading Elias Patterson, looking like Jonathan Huberdeau. What are you going to get from him? You know what I'm saying? You want the best, and the best version of Patterson is something that I think we got to be more patient for because he's proven it more often than not that he's that guy. But again, if it's the criticism is specific for his last 2 games and just overall what he's been doing for like 40 games, it's well deserved. Like, you take out the money, bro. You're Elias Patterson. You're that guy, and people who want to spend their time watching the Canucks, they want to see something. And the best version of the Vancouver Canucks hasn't been seen in a long time. Whether you enjoyed that playoff run or not, because of Patterson wasn't doing his thing, and we want to see that. We want to see how fun that would look on the ice. And bro, to be honest, he's not in the right place right now as far as his confidence is going. And that's why, again, I think this guy needs the most help available right now to just get him going, get his confidence going, is because he's not playing with his instincts. Like, when Patterson is instinctual, take away the offense. This guy's instinctual defensively. He's not making mistakes like he's making against the Philadelphia Flyers in game 2 of the season. You know what I'm saying? With those players on the ice, he's not making that defensive mistake. You get what I'm saying? He's not it right now.
Yeah, he's not it. And again, early on, we'll see if he gets there. And we know that the pressure will be cranked up if he doesn't get there, but I'm just believing he's going to get there until we get a little later on in the season. But maybe he can get some playmaking advice from Derek Forbort, and I'll segue into telling the biggest scoop of my reporting career so far. So for those that didn't see, I think a lot of you probably saw Derek Forbort chugging the Timmies on the bench there. And we all thought it was an espresso, this guy's like chugging the Tim Hortons, and he goes out in the next shift and sets up Teddy Bluger with the little backdoor play. Boom, bam. Teddy Bluger gets his first of the season. You're going like, damn, Derek Forbort. Didn't know you had that in you, man. So I ended up in the scrum with Derek Forbort after the game and had to ask him about the Timmy's Cup, man. And his answer surprised me, and he said it was actually Pepto-Bismol in the cup. And he's had a little stomach bug. And I think he sprayed me a bit as I said that. He's probably a little pissed off that I asked that question. So if I get a stomach bug from Derek Forbort, that's okay, man. That's okay, because I just keep doing your thing for the Vancouver Canucks. He played a hell of a game on Friday night.
If you're not feeling well, just take Pepto-Bismol. Apparently that's the thing, right?
I took it for the first time like 2 years ago. It really works.
I've never had Pepto-Bismol in my life.
Yeah, it works, bro.
Dude.
Just out Derek Forbort, man. The guy chugged some Pepto-Bismol and then set up Bluger, man. Like
what was the commercial like before? One Pepto, hey, wasn't
Pepto. No, it's a heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey,
use Hims. There you go, Trevor. See, that's how you gotta pat the sponsors' backs by doing that, man. Come on, man. Anyways, let's get out of here, okay? Sorry we didn't read a lot of comments. I guess it's the holidays. We're not reading a lot today, okay? Getting a phone call right now, too. Anyways, we got to go. Trevor's got to be a dad again. It's Monday. It's Thanksgiving, dude. What are we doing here talking about the Conor Garland trade on a Monday, bro? Hug your kids, bro. Relax. Straight up, okay? Hit the like button and hit the links in the bio below. I'm going to be doing some writing right now. Looking forward to it on this rainy day. But yeah, hit the links in the bio and just figure everything out for yourself, okay? Hit the like button right now if you enjoyed the episode. Right? A lot of hope. It's the holidays. Hit the like button. See what happens. And Begsy, love you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Sign us out.
Love you too, buddy, and love each and every one of you listening, whether you're an everyday or an occasional listener, a first-time listener, a new subscriber, or you join us on the live show on YouTube. Whenever you're listening, we appreciate the hell out of you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks. Kyle and I will be back tomorrow previewing not just the Canucks' first road game of the season, but the upcoming road trip and the storylines involving that. But for now, we got to get out of here, okay? Time to be a dad again. Time for Kyle to order some hymns. Again, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bound. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.